I was one of those students growing up, particularly in math class, that I would do everything within my power not to be called upon by my teacher. I would try to refuse to make eye contact. I would try to hide behind the biggest person in the class. Or if I really did not want to be called upon, I would raise my hand and say I had to be excused to go to the restroom, and then would be gone for a very long time. You see, when it came to doing math problems, particularly going up in front of the class to the whiteboard, I felt completely inadequate and therefore wanted nothing to do with it. It is so easy to bring the same mentality when we approach God in prayer. The reason I didn't want to approach the whiteboard was because I felt inadequate, incompetent, and ill-equipped. And do you realize that for a lot of us, that's the same reasoning that prevents us from boldly approaching God to find grace in our time of need? But listen to the scripture written in Hebrews 4:16. It says this: "Let us then approach God's throne of grace with confidence, so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help us in our time of need." We often feel that our ability to approach God is based upon our own adequacy, the things that we have done right, based on how much math we know. However, our boldness to approach God has nothing to do with our own adequacy, but has everything to do with the adequacy of Christ. In our times of crisis, confusion, and chaos, we often miss out on the gift of confidently approaching God's throne to find grace in our time of need. It's often because we see ourselves as that inadequate elementary school trying to do math problems. Fear has the power both to be crippling as well as to restrict us from so many wonderful gifts. Perhaps with everything going on right now, you find yourself needing to approach God boldly due to sadness, due to fear, due to having an extraordinary amount of time on your hands. But during these times, God is making an invitation to you and to me to press in boldly. And so next time you don't feel adequate or you don't feel good enough to approach God, remind yourself of one thing. The means in which we can approach Him has nothing to do with our own merit. It has everything to do with the merit of Christ. And therefore, we don't have to be shy and we don't have to be timid. And so my encouragement right now, no matter what frame of mind you find yourself in, is this is an incredibly opportune time for us to resurrect our prayer lives. And so I would encourage you, take some time to begin today to develop the habit of boldly approaching God to find help in your time of need.